Good morning. My name is Ruy Rondain. To my left is my daughter, Atty. How's that? This one? My name is Ruy Rondain. Thank you for coming. To my left is my daughter, Atty. She will be assisting me today, and my other staff are there as well. We're here because my client has been asking me, former Representative Zaldy Co, has been asking to say something for the past few months. How's that? Better? Okay. Now my client, Representative Zaldy Co, has been asking me to say something in view of the numerous allegations that have been hurled against him over the last few months. Yan, how's that? How's this? Okay. Again, my client, Representative Zaldy Co, has been asking me for the last few months to say something in reaction to the various accusations made against him. No? Now, those of you who have met me in the past know that I do not litigate my cases in the media. I litigate only in courts of law where only admissible evidence matters. But I've been monitoring the news, and the narrative has become so skewed, has become so twisted, no? Because of the misinformation, deliberate or not, spread by interested persons in these cases. And against my better judgment, maybe I figured it's time to say something. Now, Representative Co would have wanted to be here himself so he can answer your questions. Unfortunately, there are credible and serious threats to his life. Now, he's really afraid to come out at this time. Now, hopefully I can answer some of your questions. I don't have a prepared statement. Hopefully I can answer some of your pressing questions, and hopefully we can, the objective is to realign, to redirect the narrative so we level the playing field again, because I'm afraid that not only the press but the people in general have been misled by inaccurate statements and interpretations of the law, as you might have noticed. Now, let me jump the gun, because I know someone will ask this inevitably. I do not know where he is. I do not know where he is because I never asked him where he is. It's not relevant for his defense. And I never asked because I don't want to have to lie to any of you when you ask me that question as to where he is. I never asked. So, let's go. Yes? I know you, Camille.
Sir, you mentioned na hindi po nagmamatter yung kung saan nasaan si Mr. Cono with his defense, but the ombudsman already sent a letter, I think, po sa residence ni Mr. Co para makapag-file siya ng counter affidavit. So, ano po yung magiging tugon ng legal team for this? Kasi ang sinasabi po ni Assistant Ombudsman Mico Clavano, kapag hindi po tinake po ito ni Mr. Co yung opportunity to file his counter, mawawalan na po siya ng chance, and then they will proceed with the resolution. Is Mr. Co planning to file his counter here personally in the Philippines or in a Philippine embassy abroad?
Okay. Ang sinabi ko, Camille, na hindi relevant yung presence niya, ang sabi ko, hindi relevant yung knowledge ko kung nasan siya. Now, his presence is, of course, required for him to answer yung charges. But let me be clear. I have not seen I have not seen any complaint. No? Kasi a criminal investigation has to be initiated by a complaint. Meron naman kayo nakitang complaint? Anyone? When I say complaint, I mean something that has been sworn to under oath. And the only thing I've heard is that the ICI has referred its tentative findings to the Ombudsman. I don't think it's under oath, so I don't think that was a complaint. Now, under the Ombudsman's own rules, if there is an unsworn to complaint that's not verified, the Ombudsman is required to ask the witnesses to swear to it, to swear to supporting affidavits, and also the complainant, whom is also unidentified as of now, to submit a sworn affidavit. So I don't know what he's supposed to answer. But that said, ang observation ko is that the Ombudsman Boying Remulla, has already said that he intends to file these cases by November 25. November 25. Now, assuming Mr. Co is served today, that doesn't give them a lot of time for him to answer and for the Ombudsman to review and to write a resolution. My thinking is the Ombudsman has already prejudged this case. And this is bolstered by the statements of Secretary Vince Dizon, who said 60 people will be in jail by Christmas. Under these circumstances, there's really no tactical benefit to filing a counter affidavit. So the answer is, at this time, the way things are going, no, he does not intend to file a counter affidavit.
But, sir, kung ipatawag ba si Mr. Co, is he willing to personally attend? Like, for example, in the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is inviting him in the next hearing, which is on November 14. Is he planning to even acknowledge to attend? Because in the past, he would release a statement na he will answer the allegations in the proper forum. And this time, he's being given the chance to explain himself.
I don't know what he has to explain to the Senate because the Senate is investigating facts. Wala pa naman accusations sa Senate. And like I said, he's deathly afraid of coming home because may serious threats to his life. One half of the country wants to throw him in jail and throw away the key. The other half wants to string him up by the nearest tree. Would you come home under those circumstances? I wouldn't recommend that he come home. But to the extent possible, Camille, to the extent possible, we will respond to the Senate if we're invited.
Attorney, good morning. This is Chill po from the Zexal
Chill?
RMN. Yes po.
Hi, Chill.
Yes, good morning po. Attorney, is Representative Zaldy Co willing to release his SALN?
No need. Ombudsman Remulla has reversed the martires lock on SALNs. Anyone can get his SALNs from the Ombudsman. Did I get that correctly? I think that's what one of the first things he did was to unlock the SALNs.
Yeah, but sir, is Mr. Co will release his SALN?
He doesn't have to, Camille. It's open to anyone.
The House Secretariat has access to SALN. And the Ombudsman covers different rules.
No, my understanding.
I think the Ombudsman can only release SALNs for the President, the Vice President, for constitutional offices, for senators and House members. They're covered by usually the Senate Secretariat or the House Secretary General. Although I understand that former Congressman Zaldy Co has now resigned, but does that mean that he's willing to voluntarily release his SALN because no one can really compel him to at this time?
I haven't discussed that with him because I am sure that the Ombudsman will release his SALNs. I'm sure. You were talking about you're referring to the conditions imposed by the martires lock. I think one of Boying's first acts was to unlock the SALNs. And you can get it anytime.
Okay.
I'd give you a copy, but I don't have
I know,
one.
sir, but the Ombudsman is not the custodian of the SALNs.
He is.
I don't think so, sir.
He is. Alam ko, as far back as the Gloria presidency, I've always thought that the Ombudsman was. I can show you a copy, if you like, once I get one.
Okay, attorney, follow-up.
Yes.
Regarding naman dun sa mga helicopter,
Okay.
nire-register daw po ni Representative Zaldy Co yung mga...
You have to be very precise with me on the choppers. What's the question?
Yung 5 na chopper po.
5 na choppers, okay.
Na nakalabas na po. 5. Yung nakalabas po ng bansa.
Okay.
Tatlo pala, attorney, sorry.
Okay. Si Representative Ko, wala siyang may-ari na any aircraft. I understand that any aircraft related to him is owned by Mississippi's Aviation. Now separate si Mr. Ko sa Mississippi's. Ano? You should ask the lawyer of Mississippi's. I'm not the lawyer. But see, yan na yung yan na yung isang misinformation na malaki. That's the reason we're here. Because Secretary Dizon keeps saying na if you freeze lahat yan, i-confiscate yan. If you look at his SALN, Mississippi's Aviation was incorporated in 2004, 2008. Now, Zaldy Co became a congressman in 2019. So, yung aviation company na in which he owns stock is what? Was already 15, 16, 17 years old before he became when he became a congressman. Now, sinasabi ni Secretary Dizon na ifo-forfeit daw. Dalawa lang ang forfeiture dito. No? A criminal forfeiture will require a criminal conviction. That's final. A civil forfeiture will require proof and a final decision that the forfeited property was illegally acquired. How can something that was acquired by a company 17 years before he became a congressman be illegally acquired?
So sa madaling salita, sir, hindi po kay Representative Zaldy Co yung tatlong chopper?
No. Not that I know of na meron siyang personal na chopper. Must be Mississippi's Aviations, which again is an old company. And naka-report sa SALN niya yun, ha?
Thank you, Attorney.
Sir, good morning.
Hi.
Hannah po from Billionario.
Hi, Hannah.
Clarification lang din tungkol dun sa naging Senate Blue Ribbon hearing nung September. Basically, mainit po kasi yung mata ni Congressman Zaldy Co sa publiko because of the supposed cash deliveries made by his former aide, Orly Guteza. First, sir, can you confirm if Guteza was indeed an aide, a former aide of Zaldy Co?
The first time I heard that name was at the Senate hearing, or was it the House? I learned about that Mr. Guteza's name. I heard Mr. Guteza's name for the first time at the same time you did, nung nahirinig ko. I know that he had two aides, something biblical, Matthew, Luke, something.
Mark and Paul, sir?
Whatever, na former aides niya, but I understand also that they were no longer connected with him at the relevant time. Now, if you're asking me whether or not there were deliveries to Representative Ko at any time, no. Categorical.
You deny all the cash deliveries, including the
To
luggage,
him?
sir? Yes, to his house, to his condo.
Who's making that accusation, Hannah?
It was Orly Guteza who
And where is he now?
we can't find him, sir. It's for us to find out.
There you
But
go. You have to forgive me, my brain isn't trained to think that way. I'm always evidence-based. Kaya nga, the reason why we're here is para ma-realign nga natin, ma-redirect natin yung narrative. Na wag naman chismis, wag naman speculation. Because hindi tatayo in a court of law.
would you say, sir, ito po yung isa sa mga sinabi nyo kanina na narrative na skewered?
Yes. Because who's saying na mayroon deliveries? Did they see my client receive the delivery of money? I'll even reduce it to an absurdity. Is it possible na may utang lang sila at nagbayad sila?
Sir, is Congressman Zaldy Co willing to attend any Senate Blue Ribbon probe? I believe invitations were sent already.
Again, he will as soon as the threat to his life is abated.
By who, sir? Sino po ang may
Look
nagte-threaten?
around you. Ang dami, it's all over social media. I'm not tech savvy and nakikita ko everyday yung mga threats sa kanya. Isabit na yan, bitayin na yan, etc. etc.
Virtually, sir, at least.
Virtually, what does that mean?
Via Zoom. Is
siya?
he will? Kasi, sir, I believe there's a quotation that flight is an indication of guilt. So, if ever ba willing po siyang humarap para at least marinig din ng taong bayan yung
Okay.
side niya.
Okay, number one, wala pang criminal case against him. As far as I know, wala pang criminal accusation. Number two, yung flight is an indication of guilt is a misused term. Hindi yan ang ibig sabihin yan if you look at its history under U.S. federal law. I'll discuss that with you privately. Masyadong mahaba.
Sige, sir.
But outdated yung, misused and outdated yung concept na yan.
So would you say he's not Hindi siya tumatakas, basically.
No. Kasi Hannah remembered that he flew out for medical reasons way before this whole thing blew up. Diba? When did this blow up? After the SONA. He flew out as early as February, I think. So hindi siya tumakbo. Let's get that clear. Again, let's redirect the narrative. No?
Good morning, sir. This is Arles from One News po.
Arles?
Yes po.
Hi, Arles.
I have seen the Ombudsman referral, the ICI's referral to the Ombudsman, wherein Bryce Hernandez claimed that he delivered a bulk of cash on the first quarter of 2025 in his in-cost residence in Valle Verde, wherein there's no furniture inside, just luggages of cash, and then it was received by a certain Paul Estrada. Has Co ever confirmed or denied these allegations?
Na may delivery?
Both having Paul Estrada and his residence having no furniture at all.
We talked about that and he said, I have no knowledge about any delivery. Because if you talk to Mr. Hernandez, I'm sure he will say that my client was not there. And again, you know, she said, he said yan eh. Because he says that he delivered it, and yet he admits to what? Owning a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, everything else. And Representative Co is just saying, no such thing. Walang nangyaring ganyan. So who do you believe?
But on the latter part of the Ombudsman referral case, sir, there's a certain sentence there wherein it was received by a certain Paul Estrada with an acknowledgement receipt being kept by Alcantara. So have you also reached out to a certain Paul Estrada and having him on cause?
I'm not there yet. Like I said, I heard that Mr. Estrada, Paul, was once upon a time employed by him or employed for him. I'm not sure, but at the relevant time, maybe during the deliveries, that he was no longer employed by Representative Co. I don't know. I can get back to you. Hindi naman ito yung last natin. I can get back to you on that. Understand that I don't know everything about the case just yet. I'll get back to you.
And then, sir, you've said that Co has serious threats in his life.
Yes.
So does this mean that he also has pangamba or hindi pagtiwala sa pamahalaan that he can be safely, safeguarded just to face all the allegations to him?
Hindi naman. But the government cannot protect you all the time. Diba? Walang guarantee na ganyan. People die in jail. Diba? People with a shot in the head, and you have heads of state surrounded by 20 armed men who still downed by a sniper. Ako personally, ang bigger fear ko is vigilante violence. Because nga everyone hates him. That's the reason I'm here. Again, no, I don't litigate in the media, but the reason I'm here is because maybe we can tone down the temperature, we can lower it a little bit, because personally I'm deathly afraid of vigilante violence. Someone who thinks that he's a moral guardian of the Filipino people will just take a paltik and shoot him anywhere.
Sir, siguro last na lang, because
Sure.
the year is ending, 2026 is fast approaching.
Sure.
I know this might sound so vague and irrelevant, but how long is Zaldy Co planning to not go back to the country, aside from just like pahupain lahat ng threats sa life niya? How long will the Filipino people wait for his response on all the allegations?
Well, I'll try to respond as best I can, but yung fear kasi is subjective. I can't tell him na don't be afraid. In the same way that I can't tell you not to be afraid of something. If he fears, and again, I don't blame him, if he fears that there are threats to his life, I don't blame him, and I wouldn't recommend that he come home either under these circumstances. Where's Christina?
Sir, Tina po from GMA.
Hi, Tina.
Sir, you said kanina po that the information are skewed against former Representative Co. What did you mean by that?
The narrative.
The
is
narrative?
skewed, yes.
What did you mean by that?
I'll give you an example. Ang daming nagtatanong, no? In fact, it's a very hot topic na yung corruption. Corruption in general, whether it's a budget or yung mga itong flood control projects, di ba? You have to understand that there is no such thing as generic corruption. In fact, there is no such thing as a generic crime. When you accuse someone of a crime, you have to indicate with precision the what, where, when, who, and how. Diba? You can't say that I killed someone. You have to tell me I killed Juan de la Cruz in San Juan on this date with a knife. Diba? So if you say corruption, may mga specific elements yan. And one indispensable element of corruption is there has to be damage to the government. Actual damage in the nature of civil actual damages. So if you say na may corruption, let's say yung 2025 budget, di ba naririnig ko yan, ano yung damage to the government? Hindi nga implemented. What is the corruption? What is the extent? What is the precise damage to the government? That's a corruption na yun.
What about the previous years, sir? 2023, 2024?
Again, in line with my reason, with my thinking, you have to tell me what the accusation is. What's the accusation, Tina?
The flood control projects.
Which
Ghost.
which flood control project?
They listed several in the hearings.
Yeah, but you're asking me to answer a generic question. Yeah. Okay, Oriental Mindoro. Ano yung kwan? Okay. Kasama ba si Representative Ko?
Sunwest as well.
He's not Sunwest. See, that's the thing.
Among.
Yes, if you look at his SALN, and I know this for a fact that he divested from Sunwest before he became a congressman. Again, no, yan na nga yung skewed narrative eh. The person, the stockholder is not the corporation. If I own shares in federal land, doesn't mean I can stay in Grand Hyatt for free just because federal land owns Grand Hyatt. Diba? So, just because he's a member of a corporation, which he is not, Sunwest, let's get that clear. Just because Sunwest is accused of something, that doesn't filter down to the stockholders. Again, he's not a stockholder. I don't represent Sunwest, though. You should ask Sunwest's lawyers. But let's get it right lang. If there's a wrong committed by a corporation, that wrong does not contaminate the stockholders.
Sir,
Otherwise, lahat tayo sa pool na.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Where is he now, sir?
I don't know. Last I heard, he was in Boston for his medicals.
Because the Senate has reports that two of his executive assistants, who are potential witnesses in the Senate investigation, have joined him in Europe, John Paul Estrada and Mark Texay. Do you have any information on that?
I have no info, but I did read earlier that one of them was in Chile, not in Europe.
Which
I don't
one,
know
sir?
if he's one of, I don't know, Luke, Paul. No, I don't know. I've never met them, never spoken with them, and I don't feel like talking to them at this time. Di pa relevant sa akin.
Sir, when was the last time you talked to former Representative Ko?
Last night.
And did you ever ask him where he was? Weren't you curious?
No, I'm curious personally, but I can't be curious as a lawyer because hindi relevant. And I don't want to lie to you. If you're asking me now, I'm looking you in the eye. I'm telling you honestly that I don't know because I never asked him. Again, because it's not that knowledge is not relevant to me at this time.
How do you communicate, sir?
Phone?
Phone?
Yes.
But you can tell from the number
No, I cannot.
where his location is.
No, I cannot.
Oh,
If you're asking me whether it's a foreign SIM,
yes, sir.
can't tell you. I wouldn't know myself.
Okay. Sir, kanina you also mentioned that you fear vigilante violence. Is that-
Personally.
yes. But is that also Mr. Ko's fear when he returns to the Philippines?
He has a general fear of being shot, whether by a vigilante or by a political enemy. He doesn't know. I can't answer that with precision.
So is it safe to say that in the next few months until next year, we won't see him in the Philippines?
We'll see him as soon as the fear of violence against him abates. So I don't know. Might be next week, might be January, I don't know.
Okay, so thank you.
Surely.
Hello, sir. Good morning po. Ben Pulta po sa Philippine News Agency.
Hi, Ben.
Ka-clarify ko lang, sir, yung the SALN is generally available. That's what you're saying. Pero
Yes.
only if you can answer, how much did the assets did Mr. Ko declare the first time he was a lawmaker?
Oh, I can answer that. 4.1 billion in 2019. Let me point out, ito na naman yung skewed narrative. I did some research, and who's the richest senator you know? Alex. Mark Villar declared a net worth of 1.4 billion. His mother, Cynthia, declared in 2020 a net worth of 3.8 billion. Next is Manny Pacquiao, 3.1 billion. Or the other way around, one or the other. So, in 2020, when Representative Co joined Congress in 2019, 1 year earlier, he was already richer by Cynthia than Cynthia Villar or Manny Pacquiao. Just to keep it in context.
Okay.
What's your question?
Sir, yeah, thank you for that, sir. Pero did it grow? Follow-up lang doon sa question. Did the assets grow? Would you know if at all?
There was movement. It was relatively flat, the movement. But I remember it did grow, but even that is not an indication of criminality, just so you know, Alex. Kasi naka-file naman ng ITR eh. And there was a very refreshing take on this. I don't remember who said it. I think it might have been Ronald Llamas. Kung magnanakaw ka, luko-luko ka ba't idedeklara mo sa salin mo yung ninakaw mo? Naturalmente, hindi, di ba?
Sir, ewan ko kung pwede, sir, if you can go to yung legal theory,
Sure.
But the acts attributed to Co, maliban dun sa accusation ni Gutesa that money was actually delivered to his house by so-and-so, yung acts of passing a law to encourage projects, and these projects supposedly some of them were not implemented at all, would that, in your say, form part of your legal theory? Would that make him liable? I mean, it's like paying someone else did not deliver, right?
I assume you're talking about yung unang pumutik ito, yung mga ghost projects sa Bulacan. Yung preliminary research namin is that yung mga ghost projects na yon, part of the NEP yon, yung National Expenditure Program. So hindi yun insertion. Easy? So saan ba galing ang NEP? Hindi ba galing sa executive yan?
Sir, but the proponents apparently had a part in... I mean, Mr. Co apparently had a part in the actions of the proponents?
No. That's what I'm saying. Yung NEP is prepared by the DBM in consultation with the other executive offices. Sinasubmit yan sa appropriations. Hindi nakialam doon si Representative Co as far as I know. Kasi NEP nga eh. Tapos noon, from what I know, from what I gather, meron mga requests na separate yung other executives, other government offices. Other government offices, yun ang sinasabi na insertion. But ang technical term is congressional initiative or something like that. Ayan pa eh, we keep saying insertion kasi it's a very colored term, insertion, parang masama ang dating. But then, everyone is saying, Senator Lacson himself said na hindi masama ang insertion. Wag natin kulayan yung term.
Sir, last two so others can ask a question.
Sure.
My second to the last question is dun sa air assets. The government is saying that it has fled the Philippines and it's probably been disposed outside the country despite having not been deregistered locally.
Sorry, I just received word that one of the live streams ran out of its mic, so we might want to fix that before moving forward. I'm not sure.
Wala daw audio?
Yeah, walang audio in one of the live streams. Maybe Inquirer or GMA. Before we proceed lang. Para hindi sayang.
Oh.
This seems to be working. Sorry, Alex, you're going to have to say that again. About the aircraft?
Yeah, the aircraft, sir. You're saying that it's really owned by Misibis at all and that he doesn't own any of the fixed-wing aircraft?
I'm assuming that it's owned by Misibis. I'm sure that he personally doesn't own any aircraft.
Sir, the fact that these aircraft have been disposed at this time when the issue is very hot, would you say it's at the least suspect?
I'm not counsel to the aviation companies, so it wouldn't be fair for me to speculate on that.
Okay. Sir, more on the skewed narratives. One of the more stranger narratives in social media is that organized crime groups daw in Europe is after Mr. Co. How can you comment on this?
I cannot, but that scares me a bit. Kung merong organized crime going after him, so he's neither safe here nor there. Scary. That's my comment.
Hello po, Sir. Agatha Gregorio po from
Agatha.
ABS-CBN News. A while ago po, you denied the cash deliveries. You made some denials about the accusations being made nga po. Do you have any speculations as to why these allegations are coming around in the first place?
Ako, I will look at who made the admissions and who's making the claim that they were deliveries. And then you look at the credibility of the utterer, of the person who made the statement.
And then when you were asked if the former congressman would be willing to go back home, you said there was no criminal case anyways to go to the hearings. But from his team, is there any willingness, even any representative to be sent to talk about the matter?
No, he's not unwilling because there's a case. No, he's unwilling. He's not prepared because meron ngang serious threats to his life. Now, is he willing to send a representative? Well, we're here, and we're trying to answer as much as we can, as best we can. Sa Senado, I don't know if they'll accept me. Probably not. But at least I think the Senate owes an official explanation on why he cannot why he cannot attend, just in case nga na maimbitahan siya. Courtesy lang.
Anyone? Questions? Dwight?
Sir,
Where's
good morning po. Here, attorney.
There you are.
Una po muna, ano pong medical condition ni former Congressman Zaldy Co?
I know cardiac, but I don't want to give you the details, Dwight.
Okay po. Will he be willing to face the media via Zoom? Kasi yung isang issue na sinasabi ninyo is that may threat to his life. But can we talk to him? Can he hold a press conference for us? Because it is an issue of transparency.
Mahirap kayo kaharap. Teka muna, yung transparency, ako nga nahihirapan sumagot sa inyo. But yung transparency on what? Again, no, I will advise him kasi normally I don't let my clients talk once may issue na eh. Kasi mahirap i-control eh. And anything they say can be used against them eh. But kung transparency lang, then you have to specify kung ano yung subject na gusto mong tanungin sa kanya, because I can answer yung mga issues against him without telegraphing our punches din naman, because we anticipate nga some legal proceedings.
Sir, how rich is Zaldy Co now?
4.1 billion in 2019, I think. I don't remember.
And I think he filed his latest SAL in June or in July because he was still a lawmaker. So what was magkano yung assets niya at magkano po yung net worth niya in his latest SAL? I'm
guessing because I just went through it quickly. Ang relevant lang sa akin yung opening sala niya in 2019. I think about 5. Not sure. I'm not going on. Yes.
So tumaas ng 900 million yung assets niya or yung net worth niya from 2019 to 2025. Is that a reasonable increase in his 6 years in Congress?
You see, yan ang skewed narrative eh. Hindi naman, your insinuation is, or rather your question assumes na tumaas siya while he was in Congress because of Congress eh. Hindi eh. Remember that he was a businessman before he was in Congress. And kung tumaas man yan, naka-report yan sa SAL, and I'm sure naka-report sa tax returns niya because of the business, not because of Congress. Let me give you this shocked me eh. People kept saying na responsible siya for insertions, di ba? And that he must have made billions because of these insertions. Now, nakwento sa akin that one of the companies they own, 44 private corporations, SAL niya as of 2019. 44. Ganyan yung yan yung revenue stream niya. Okay, now sinabi niya, one of those 44 is a power plant or a couple of power plants in Bicol. No, for some deserted island. I think it's in Camarines Sur, thereabouts. And every year, may utang sa kanila yung municipality na 600-700 million pesos dun sa power plant. And hindi nababayaran yan year in, year out. Palaging rason. 6 months daw yung cycle nila. Ang rason, sometimes hindi nababayaran is walang budget. Now, you have a person who you were accusing of making illegal insertions in the budget and making money from it. If he had the power to make the insertions, don't you think it would have been smart of him to insert an item so the power plant company of stock in which he owns would be paid, parang yung kumpanya niya mismo hindi bayad eh. Not a small amount, 600-700 million every year.
Although sir, just siguro for clarity lang din, marami pa kasing congressional insertions ngayon o whatever you call that, that's still not open to the public, especially yung mga nangyari noong 2023, 2024, 2025. All of these, si former Congressman Zaldy Co was part of the small committee in the House. He was part of the BICAM. It is the subject of public debate. There's a call na gawing transparent itong mga proceedings nito, which is why we are asking these questions. I know that your narrative here is that there's a skewed narrative, but this is just our responsibility as media to ask these questions.
Sure.
For example, Congressman Toby Tiangco is one of the people who allege that there are billions of pesos in insertions facilitated by former Congressman Zaldy Co. Is it true or not? We don't know. But this is why we're asking these questions. Marami pong mga dumabas na rin nga sa House, sa Senate hearing, na na-mention na po si former Congressman Zaldy Co. Again, also in some of the referrals, if you want to call them complaints, they also named Zaldy Co. So again, this is why we are asking these questions. Now, sir, about the SALN, because you've kept on telling na kung makita nyo lang yung SALN ni Zaldy Co, can you just give it to us?
I don't have an additional copy.
Can we take a photo of?
No.
Can we take a photo of the
I have notes,
SALN?
I'll give you his 2019.
But we also need, sir, the 2025 because
Wala nga ako eh.
I don't have the.
Nadaanan ko lang eh. Kaya nga hindi ko, that's why I cannot answer your question what was his closing
Ano
closing
po ibig
net
sabihin
worth,
niyo, sir, attorney, nung nadaanan niyo lang yung SALN niya nung
Nabasa
2025?
ko lang somewhere, but I don't have a hard copy. I have a hard copy of the 2019.
Ano pong nabasa niyo, sir, yung hard copy nung kay Congressman Zaldy? Saan niyo po nabasa yung Saan niyo po nabasa yung 5 billion? Because we cannot report it if it like nabasa niyo lang somewhere or sinabi lang sa inyo. It has to be documentary evidence that 5 billion pesos po yung laman ng kanyang SALN in 2025.
I told you that I'm not gonna go on oath on it. Because sabi ko, ang recollection ko is 5 billion. If you're disputing it, then wala akong magagawa. I can't prove otherwise.
Okay po. A few questions na lang, sir. May, how does your camp respond to allegations of labor issues in Misibis? I learned that mayroong labor complaint filed by a former HR manager against Misibis, including the owners, including Zaldy Co's wife, Maylene.
Couldn't tell you, Dwight. I'm not counsel to Misibis.
Okay. So no response to the service charges?
I can't respond.
Elderly service charges?
I can't respond. I know nothing about that case because I'm not counsel to Misibis.
Okay po. The former HR manager also said that he was tasked to process the passports of personal staff of Zaldy Co, including the household cook and I think one more aide. Is it true?
Can't answer you.
Cannot answer.
I can't answer you because I don't know, Dwight. I'm
Okay.
not evading anything. Like I told you, I'm not counsel. I haven't spoken to these people.
Okay po. Sige, yun lang yung questions ko. Thank you po.
Surely.
Sir, papahabol lang ako.
Camille.
Sir, since sinasabi niyo po na worried kayo doon sa vigilante
Ako,
violence, no? Sir, ano po yung pwede niyo sigurong mensahe sa taong bayan? Kasi syempre, sila po talaga yung, hindi naman po magkakaroon ng rason yung galit ng taong bayan. Bakit sila nagpo-protesta outside? No, kaya hinihiling nila na harapin ni Mr. Co itong mga allegations because he's not just a private citizen. He used to be a public servant. At pera po ng taong bayan yung pinag-uusapan dito.
Okay. Naiintindihan ko, ito yung message ko, no? Naiintindihan ko na mainit ang ulo ng mga taong bayan. Pati ako, believe it or not, naiinis din ako. No? Narinig ko na si Ruy Rondain, may Lamborghini at saka Ferrari, etc. Naiinis din ako. But ang appeal ko is, let's look at the evidence. Kasi madaling masway pag narinig natin na ang dami-daming pera nito. You know, you look at the evidence, 4.1 billion opening, richer than Cynthia Villar or Manny Pacquiao. Tingnan naman nyo, sinasabi niyo na nag-increase ng 900. Okay, let's play with that number. I'm sure sa negosyo galing yun. Now, handa ba siyang harapin yung mga accusations? Depende kung anong accusations. No? Like I said, Camille, wala naman generic or general accusation. Na-corrupt ka. Sabihin mo sa akin kung paano ako naging corrupt. Nagnakaw ako, sabihin mo sa akin kung saan ako, anong ninakaw ko, magkano, kailan, how. Diba? Then haharapin. Because otherwise, mabang mangyayari niyan eh. Kung paupuin mo yan dito, tanungin, sagutin mo nga itong corruption allegations, even I wouldn't know how to answer it. Kasi ano nga corruption? 2025, 24, 23, ano yung damage to the government? Remember, lawyers look at corruption as a technical term. Hindi yan street term to us.
Question lang, pahabol lang po. Does Co know Yusek Roberto Bernardo of the
I
DWH?
don't know. I didn't ask him.
Kasi if I'm not mistaken, dun sa previous Senate hearing, sinabi po niya na nag-usap daw sila via call asking if maayos kausap si Henry Alcantara, and then nag-introduce po dun nga kay Alcantara to make projects for Zaldy Co. So, hindi niya po kilala si Yusek Bernardo.
She said, he said. I
And-
mean, yun ang sabi niya. We don't know kung totoo yung sinasabi niya. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm just saying na kung magkaiba yung sinasabi ng dalawang tao, it's a question of who's more credible and who's more believable.
So, pati po yung pagsabi na may 25% commission daw na nakuha si Co, those are all not true.
Wala akong information. I will assume that it's not true.
Okay. So, they've never met si Yusek Bernardo and also Zaldy Co.
Again, I don't know. I have no information. But if he's saying that my client got a 25% commission, I'm telling you that's not true.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Sure.
More questions?
Okay. Dwight, it was just pointed out to me na a lot of these high government officials also have increased SAL-ENS. And pinapoint out nga nung anak ko na si Ping Lacson, si Senator Lacson, nag-increase din. So long as ma-justify, nothing wrong with an increase. In fact, ang net worth mo should increase.
Sir, but our recall sana is we hope to get the copies of the SAL.
Tulungan na lang tayo. Tulungan na lang tayo. I'm sure na open yan sa ombudsman.
But is he willing to release his salary?
Let me ask him. Sige, let me ask him. Yeah, let me ask him. Let me ask him. Let me ask him if he's willing. But I can almost imagine him saying, bakit pa? Kunin nila sa ombudsman. Saan available yan? Ang understanding ko, sa House?
Sa House, but he's no longer a lawmaker, so we're worried that we might not get it. But if he's willing to provide, then that's, like, isn't that the first step to transparency? That there's a former congressman accused of corruption, willingly releasing his salad to the public.
Alam mo, hindi ko kasi ma-imagine yung when I defended Mikey Arroyo yung sa tax cases niya during the Arroyo presidency, kompleto yung press ng ng SAL-N from beginning to end. So I cannot imagine na hindi nyo makuha. I don't even think you should have to justify why you want a SAL-N. It's investigative press. But let me talk to him. I'll get back to you. Hindi naman ito yung huling pagkikita natin.
Hello po. Pahabol lang po. Magandang umaga, sir. Zeus Legaspi po ng DZMM. So,
Zeus.
Yes, sir. Opo.
Very powerful.
Thank you, sir. Yun nga po, no? Siguro, ang tanong ko na lang po is, as legal counsel, where do we stand now? Ano, may iniintay po ba tayo? Or will we do any proactive effort to clear Representative Co's name? Maraming salamat po.
We're verifying Zeus whether or not meron whether or not meron ngang kaso sa ombudsman. Kasi wala nga kaming nare-receive. Sabi ni Deputy Clavano, meron daw refusal to receive. Paano naman magre-refuse yung taong wala dito, no? But assuming na meron ngang kaso under the ombudsman's rules of procedure, meron si Representative Co a right to access to all the evidence submitted and being considered by the ombudsman. So we're verifying that. We will likely ask for copies of all the evidence submitted to the ombudsman. And then we have the option to submit a counter affidavit, but parang realistically,
Sir, baka nagtanongin ng ombudsman, saan ba nila dapat ipadala para yung may mag-a-accept?
sa address niya.
Which is,
I You know, I don't know. Yung address na nakaregister sa house. Yeah.
Sir, may action na ba yung AMLA on his bank account? And is he willing to, execute a blanket waiver of the secrecy of deposits?
Ang alam ko na may freeze yung AMLA pursuant to the first request ng ICI, di ba? And his assets and the liabilities are declared in his SALN, so I would not recommend that he execute a blanket waiver. Let's maintain some privacy naman, di ba? Kasi kung meron kayong accusation, not you, but kung merong accusation, i-prove mo. You have to understand that lawyers are not required to prove their client's innocence. It's the other way around. So kung yung gobyerno sinasabi na meron krimen, i-prove mo yung krimen. All we have to do is defend. I don't have to prove that he didn't commit a crime.
Sir, may plano po ba si former Representative Ko to file libel charges against those who said or testified sa Senate?
Would if we could. We should. Pero distraction lang yan at this time. At this time, distraction lang. Nakakainis eh. Lalo na marami mga vloggers na hindi based dito. Abusados eh. Ha? Dean Chase. Ayan, abusado. Nakikita pa yung video niya na I dare you to sue me. I'm in the US. I'm protected. Hindi patas lumaban eh. Yabang mo because nandun ka eh. Diba? If you stand by your convictions, pupunta ka dito and you utter those statements para level yung playing field. Hindi yung nagtatago ka sa US. Yan pa, yung linileak yung flight details niya, no? We're not conceding na tama yun, ano? Pero violation yun ng Data Privacy Act. I will sue. Kung malaman namin kung sino, we will sue kung sino man yung nag-leak nun sa Emirates and wherever. Yeah, without conceding na valid. No? Bastos eh. Yan na nga yung masamang nangyayari. Eh.
Sir, pa-clarify, the last time you talked to him, you were under the impression that he's in Boston?
No. The last official information that I know is that he was in Boston. I'm not saying that he was in Boston last night when I talked to him. He might be. I'm just saying I don't know. When was he in Boston? I think. Yeah, for his medical. I think. 3 January, December, January, October, September.
Is it September? Is it October? Can you give us a specific?
You want a precise answer? I can't answer. That's why I'm giving you an estimate.
September to October.
September or October. I'll get back to you. No. Sige. Sure. I don't know whether he flew to Spain.
Because you said that whoever leaked his flight details, you're going to sue whoever that is. But is that an admission that you really don't?
No, I said without admitting the accuracy. No, kasi you're not supposed to passport details naka-leak. Diba? Seat number naka-leak. Yung passport na lang. Would you give me your passport details? You would not, di ba? I'm not gonna give you mine. Yun na lang, may data privacy leak na eh. O may mga AI videos pa na, yung sinesimulate na kumakain siya and then tumakbo siya, nagtakip na mukha. No. If I did, I don't know. I'm not denying because I don't know. Maybe he did. I really don't know.
Sir, when you talked to him last night, how did he sound?
Downtrodden, as always. Nalulungkot siya dito eh. Ako rin nalulungkot din ako eh dahil hindi patas eh. Sana if we stick to the facts and to the evidence. I'm telling you, if the government stuck to the facts and the evidence, hindi dapat i-file yan. And lahat ng mga criminal cases ko na very, very hot, na galit ang mga tao, preliminary investigation pala, sinasabi ko, walang ebidensya, walang crime na nakomit. Nagtatrial kami for 10, 15 years and then na-acquit mga kliyente ko. nagagalit yung mga korte, yung Court of Appeals, Court of Tax Appeals, nagagalit, sinabi, these cases should not have been filed for lack of evidence. That's where we are today. I'm telling you now, walang ebidensya. Hindi dapat ma-file.
Walang ebidensya.
Walang ebidensya. Hindi dapat ma-file. Walang crime. Yung kliyente ko, kliyente namin. But,
despite the testimonies in the Senate and the House, sir?
Whose testimonies, Tina?
Like Gutesa.
Walang testimony si Gutesa that will stand in court.
The DPWH officials.
Res inter alios acta. That's a principle in law that a conspirator cannot bind his co-conspirator. Kasi kung sabihin ko na ako, akusado ako ng murder, sabihin ko, kasama ko si Tina doon. Pwede ba yun? Just because dinawit kita, masasama ka na sa asunto. Hindi ba hindi tama? That's what's happening sa Senado. Kasama ko yun, damay ka. Kasama ko yun, damay ka. Hindi pwede. Res inter alios acta.
Is his whole family with him now?
I don't know. I don't know.
Does he have family here right now?
I don't know. I'd be speculating. Not relevant information at this time, for me. I don't know, Alex. Sorry. I'm guessing wala sa salin niya. At least wala ako napansin sa salin niya. I don't think there's any intention to come home before November 13 ba yan? 14? Not likely. Takot siya eh. Kahit takot eh. We didn't discuss it. Hindi. You have to disobey a subpoena eh. Pang subpoena, you have to be served eh. You cannot subpoena a person who you know is not here. Because basically, you cannot force a person to come here when he's not within the jurisdiction for a legitimate purpose. Can't do that. Nagtataka nga ako kay Congressman Tiangco eh, na sinabi niya yan, nakasilahin na, let the lawyers complain. Sinabi na ng DFA, hindi yan ang proseso. You can only cancel, well, let me tell you, I don't know, I don't remember what the DFA said, no? But you can only cancel a passport after my court judgment, if it was fraudulently obtained or mayroong national security risk, health risk, etc., etc. Saan siya doon? Sabi ni Representative Tiangco, security risk ba? Sabi niya? Terrorist daw? National security? Seriously? Diba, anong threat niya sa national security? Insurrectionist ba siya? Nagre-rebelde ba siya? Espionage, meron ba? Wala eh. And yan na naman tayo, yung skewed narrative. Sinasabi ni Congressman Tiangco, i-cancel na muna, let his lawyers complain. DFA do not lawyer for Representative Co. Hindi ganun ang batas natin. Ang batas natin, kailangan sumunod tayo sa procedure niya, no, ng passport law. Hindi yung shoot now, ask later. Kulong natin ngayon, tapos later na natin paglitisan whether guilty siya or hindi. We are not a totalitarian state. We can't do business that way. Wouldn't be right. No, I have not.
Sir, if I may ask, how were you tapped by the former congressman to be seated?
I like to joke. Sinabi ng isang client ko, sabi niya, competence shines. I like that.
You also said kanina that you were a lawyer for Mikey Arroyo.
Oh, a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yes.
Kasi there were speculations that the Arroyos and Zaldy Co had business ties or close ties. Did that factor in why you became a lawyer for...
Oh, you're asking me if the Arroyos referred me? It's a categorical no. That's humorous, but no. I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at the proposition. That's it, we good? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Wag lang after 10 p.m. At before 6 p.m. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Attorney Roy's number has been, media number has been distributed to several. Yeah, if you like to have further short interviews, short short interviews. And then we have lunch. Let's see.
Oh, then. I wasn't laughing at you.
Oh, no, I will message you after. Para if you ever need.
Yes, I love your nails. I'm going. I'm going. Magkasama ka, magkasama yun.
That's why we're not sure. That's why we didn't go on the gargle on the statements of how much it really
Tapos na yun. Mali by mali.
Sinabi mo, short interview pa.
Last I heard, believe it or not, she was in Bohol. Yeah, in the Philippines. Yeah. Last I heard. I haven't talked to her for a while.
Sir, attorney, laging inuugnay si Zaldy Co kay House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Anong reaksyon nyo? Naghahati daw po sila sa mga mali-malitang pera. Sorry, sir.
Dating inuugnay. Alam ko na mag-associate.
I mean, dun, sir, sa kickback, yung nare-receive daw na kickback.
Oh, wala. Kliyente ko walang nare-receive na kickback. That's categorical.
Sir, anong reaksyon nyo na yung takbo ngayon ng sitwasyon, mas napupuruhan si Zaldy Co